Okay, you've got lots and lots of paper. You have a journal that's complete because that's what we did for chapter 3. And you need that to do chapter 4. And then you've got these pages. Those are the ledger pages that we're going to deal with in this chapter. And so you should have 3 of those. And then finally you should have this piece of paper, and then you should just have like a notebook piece of paper, loose leaf piece of paper. And I didn't staple them on purpose because it's a lot of flipping back and forth. And if they're stapled together, you will hate me. So I thought maybe instead of you guys hating me, I would just not staple them. We'll start with the notes page for chapter 4. The ones that looks like this. And go through a few of the key terms. And we're going to talk about chart of accounts. And I don't know if we'll get to posting yet today. Because the first section is pretty blah. Blah. All right. So without you turning around your page, I'm going to show you this page. Okay, this is the ledger page. If you want to look at it, you can look at it. Otherwise, look at the screen. All right. If you ignore the last 2 columns, this first section is information about each of the entries that we're going to make. This section's the T account that we've been using. Debits on left, credits on the right. And then we've got 2 more columns for doing the balance. Okay? That's all this is, keeping track of each individual account, like how much money is there in cash at any given time. So this is where we're going to be figuring out how much money do we actually have in each of those accounts. This thing is called the ledger, and it's a group of accounts, is a ledger. Really fancy key term. Put a bunch of accounts together, and it's called a ledger. The general ledger is a ledger, so a group of accounts, that contains all accounts needed to prepare financial statements for a business. So general ledger is a ledger that contains all of the accounts used to prepare financial statements. And the last key term before we do something with it is account number, is the number assigned to an account. So some big hefty definitions today. Ledger is just a group of accounts. General ledger is a specific type of ledger that contains all accounts used for financial statements. And an account number is the number assigned to an account. And yes, I understand that we use the term in the definition.
Oh.
And the people that love English, hate that right now. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a chart of accounts. It's going to list all of the accounts that we need to do our little techno business here, or at least the ones up on the board. We're going to skip a few of them that the book will talk about because we're not going to use them yet. All right, and so your nice little loose leaf piece of paper, this is where we're going to create our chart of accounts. Right? The chart of accounts names all the accounts, puts them into a specific order, and numbers all of the accounts. So the first thing we're going to do is write chart of accounts up at the top. Well, remember, chart of accounts is all of the accounts used by a business.
That's our business right there. Is that our business right there?
That is our business. That's Techno up there. Then take and put a straight line down the middle of your page. Kind of our little dividing line. On the left side of the dividing line, we have balance sheet accounts. So we're going to name this balance sheet accounts. And on the right-hand side, we're going to have income statement accounts. Now, these are clearly two terms you've not heard before. You've never seen a balance sheet, you've never seen an income statement. Maybe you have seen them, but you didn't know what they were. All right, we haven't talked about them in this class. So a balance sheet is the accounting equation balanced. Assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity. So all the assets, all the liabilities, all the owner's equity accounts are going to go on the balance sheet side. Income statement side is all the stuff that we need to determine if we're making a profit. So all of the revenue and all of the expenses. All right, we're going to start with the balance sheet accounts. We always put our assets first. And these are going to be our 100s. So I'm going to put a little 100 behind it. All of these accounts will start with the number 1, and then some 2 digits after that. On the board, I got all the accounts listed. Which ones are assets? Supplies. Don't write it down yet. Supplies, cash, prepaid insurance, accounts receivable. All right, those are our asset accounts. All right, with the exception of cash, they go in alphabetical order. Cash always goes first. It's like the gimme. Like everybody wants cash first. All right, so we're going to put down account number 110. It's going to be cash. All the rest of our assets go in alphabetical order. So after ignoring cash, the first one would alphabetically would be what? Yep, accounts receivable. Oakdale School. All right, now cash was 110 because it's got 100. Accounts receivable is 120. Good job. All right, we actually skip 10 numbers every time we do a new account, and that's so that if we suddenly had a new accounts receivable Barnyard Books, that would have to go before Oakdale School. We need numbers available, and so we always go by 10. So our 130 account will be what?
Prepaid insurance.
Prepaid insurance. And our 140 account will be supplies. So big 2 rules, cash has to go first. It's always 110 or 101 for some people. They like to call it 101. I always go 110. And then adding it by 10 every single time we do a new account. Those are all of our assets. Next section is our liabilities. What are our liabilities on the board? Rent expense is not a liability. Accounts payable, supply depot. Any other?
No,
No.
because sales is itself.
Okay. The nice thing about liabilities is that they will always start with accounts payable or notes payable. So if the word payable is there, you know it's automatically a liability. And if there's no payable, it's not a liability. Okay, so we only have one. So we're going to do a little section heading for liabilities. And these are going to be our 200s. I'm going to put a little 200 behind it. And I'm going to write account number 210 is accounts payable, supply depot. Last section on the balance sheet side, assets equal liabilities plus owner's equity. And these are our 300 accounts. Now we're going to look a little bit trickier. Get rid of our liability here, that one's done. What do we have for owner's equity?
Both accounts.
Kim Park. Kim Park. Kim Park Capital. And Kim Park Drug.
Yep.
Anything else? Nope, that's it. Just those two. And everything else is going to be revenue and expenses. So I'm going to go alphabetically. C comes before D. So I'm going to do 310 is Kim Park Capital. $320 is Kim Park Drawing. And then I'm going to throw a weird one in there, only because it's going to show up on all of your assignments, but you're never going to use it, at least not in this chapter. We will eventually use it, but we won't use it in this chapter, but you'll keep seeing it, and it will annoy you that it's always there, and that's called income summary. It's number 330. And so when you see income summary, it's always our last owner's equity account. So even if we had Adam Adamson's capital drawing, or if we had Zig Ziglar's capital, Zig Ziglar drawing, income summary would still go after him. It's always the last one. Alright, so far so good? With me? Alright, then we go to the income statement side. Our first account on the income statement side is revenue. We always like the money coming in first. And these are going to be our 400s. We like money that comes into our business. Alright, we're getting rid of accounts here. What do we have left that's revenue? Sales. I heard someone yell sales. Let's say it very quiet. Sales. Sales, that's it, right? That's our money coming into our business. Sales. So that's going to be account number 410. Our very last section, expenses. Well, this is number 500. We've got two expenses. We've got rent and utilities. We put them in alphabetical order. So 510 will be rent expenses, or rent expense. And 520 will be utilities expense. Okay, now the nice thing about if you know your chart of accounts, if you see any account number or any account with its number, you automatically know what type of account it is. So you should automatically know what the increase side is, what the credit decrease side is, and what the normal balance is. Yes. Miscellaneous expense would be an expense. Because it would need to go before rent expense, then, and because we've already numbered these, it would be like 505 would be miscellaneous expense. All right, so if we needed to add in another one, we'd slip it in wherever it went, either front or behind, and then 5. And then if you've already used 5, then 7 or 3, or you just keep playing with the numbers. Any other questions on chart of accounts? That's a big part of section 1 is chart of accounts. One more key term. Sorry, 2 more key terms. Sorry. Next one is file maintenance. It's the procedure for arranging accounts in the general ledger, assigning account numbers, and keeping records current.
Holy crap.
Procedure for arranging accounts in a general ledger, assigning account numbers, and keeping records current. File maintenance. Doesn't it sound exciting?
No.
You guys don't want all that to be your career now. You're like, I want to be a file maintenance person. Last key term is opening an account. Opening an account means to write an account title and number on the heading of the account. Opening an account is writing an account title and an account number on the heading of the account. We are going to open some accounts. Are you guys ready?
No.
Super exciting stuff here. All right, grab your ledger accounts, your ledgers. All right, and have your chart of accounts sitting out next to it, because you'll need those. We are going, Oh, probably not. We are going to open all of the accounts on our chart of accounts except for income summary. We're going to skip that one. All right. So to open the cash account, you write cash, where it says account, and over on the other side it says account title or account number.
Like what?
110. Sorry. Misspoke. That's it. That is opening an account.
Okay.
And then scoot down to the next one.
Oh, goodness.
Alright. Accounts receivable, Oakdale. $120. Now the one thing that is important is trying to keep these in order so that when you're looking for your accounts and you're posting, you're not looking all over. Alright, so I flip it over. Next one is prepaid insurance. $130. And then supplies. $140.
So then we go accounts payable supplies there.
Yep, then you go to accounts payable. You're going in numeric order. You do not have to make one for income summary. If you do, it won't hurt you. You won't be using it at all. This chapter.
Wait.
Oh, I'm sorry. 310. You have it in your chart of accounts. I'm sorry. I won't flip it so fast. And after capital, then you've got Kim Park drawing. 320. Yep. We get to skip 330, income summary. So then we have sales, which is 410. And then the expenses, and you're done. If you need to finish the expenses tomorrow, that's fine.